This is In the Zone with Ian Robb and Dancin Pete Rodda. One's a mental toughness coach who also helps riders with recovery. The other, a horseman with soul, who is also a marriage counselor for the rider and horses. Together, they dive beyond ribbons and rankings to where real riders train, the mind. From elite arenas to quiet barns, this show is about the mental edge, the recovery rhythm, and the heart that keeps you in sync with your horse and yourself. So whether you're tuning in from the tack room or the open road, saddle up. You're in the zone now.
Hey, Pete, I'm excited again because last night we had a great party.
We had a great one.
Here at the World Equestrian Center at my cabin. And you got a chance to talk to my good friend, Joy Lambert.
Yes, I did. I got to know her very well. I had met her before.
Yeah.
But last night she has a vision. And it's a good one. And so we were talking and, hey, let's put her on the show.
Yes, because this show is going to be a different mindset. And for me, I love it because it's someone that's been high in the heavens of accomplishments.
Yes, sir.
But now is going to give back. And we're going to find out what she's giving back and how she's going to do it.
That's right. And that's where I'm saying this is the path to get into the zone. And that's what I'm enjoying.
The path to get into the zone. I think that's going to be the title of this podcast.
That's right.
All right, everyone. Please meet Joy Lambert. Hi, Joy.
Hi there. How are you guys today?
We're doing great.
I'm fine. I'm doing great. So we wanted you on our podcast because you have done so much in the equestrian world. And I think everyone that's going to be listening to this as they're mucking the stalls or they're driving their trailers or doing whatever, they need to know a little bit more about who you are and what you've accomplished. So can you let everybody know what you've been doing?
Okay, I can give a little brief of myself. I started off my career as a hunter jumper trainer and kept that going for a long time. I'm originally from Pittsburgh and so moved to Florida way back in 2000 and continued my career. And life just changed it a little bit. So at one point I decided to start working on my judging licenses so I can start officiating at the horse shows as well. So I did start working on that. And through the time, I've established a few licenses in my name and the credentials that I have. I'm a large R for hunters and equitation and jumpers. Also have my breeding destination. I have my specialty jumping card with AQHA, and I also am a level 1 FEI jumping judge as well. I do have a certification also with the CHA or the Certified Horseman Association that I actually certified instructors as well. So there's a lot of things that I've established over the years.
I feel inadequate now.
I know.
Is that all, Joy, or do you have any more we can?
No, that's all for right now.
Okay. That's a big one.
So that is very interesting with all the diverse roles in the industry that you've had, Joy, from competing and judging, event management. How has wearing all these hats influence your perspective now?
I'm able to see things from a different level, especially from when I'm in a judge's booth. And then there's those times when I'm managing an event as well. I spend a lot of time on the ground speaking to people. I talk to people. I really enjoy hearing what their interests are and where they want to go with their riding and what they need to learn still. So
well, that's great. That's great because there's a few accomplishments and all those things that you're talking about, but I kind of am interesting, and let's talk a little bit more about your real passion about helping people get started with competing. What sparked your shift towards mentorship and giving back? Let's talk about what you're wanting to accomplish. I kind of led you into that, but let's talk about what you are wanting to do now here.
Well, what I want to do is I came from a spot of the equestrian world that isn't very large where I came from. And so it took me a lot to really learn and get into the spot of this upper part of the competition to even get to the Olympic level, so to speak. It's a long journey. It's a very, very hard journey for any of the people that are involved through that. Some make it, some don't. It's a very expensive journey. So if you don't have the money or you don't have the funds, you don't have somebody supporting you, then it's very difficult to get the practice in the show ring to make it to that upper level. Years ago, we had tons of shows across the country where everybody would be able to go for one day and haul in, go home, sleep, and be able to get the practice that they need so they can succeed at the World Equestrian Center or any of the large event venues that we have right now. So that little piece disappeared from our industry for a while. So USCF has brought that back with their light competitions, and they just rewrote the whole program. And so with that, it's allowing the smaller shows to occur again and make it easier for some to be able to afford it.
And how important is having those light shows, as you call them? So I figured I would compare that to the minor leagues in baseball, or triple A, double A, single A, and then you go to the pros.
It's exactly. I consider the schooling shows as definitely our first level. We have the schooling shows and some, the USHA has some outreach shows that also can kind of piggyback with that. But that doesn't take you to that next step of being able to get, your Horse of the Year awards or anything like that if you want to climb the ladder and make yourself to that point where you can compete at the higher.
And just for
levels.
everybody to understand, a schooling show means you don't get points
Correct.
towards your career or.
Correct. There's no resume building, so to speak.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's what I've always used that for, because we have to. We have these animals, we have riders, and you have to have somewhere to show their resume. So that's where the points have to.
So it's kind of like a
somewhere.
practice.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Correct.
So you'll have a judge, but they're more going to teach while you're getting schooled or doing your test.
Yes, a lot of the times with the schooling shows, the judges, when I judge a schooling show, I do give back. I allow the riders to come and talk to me if I can give them any information of their ride to help them. I do that a lot.
So then now tell us about what you are developing with these new schooling, or excuse me, moving up to the.
So what ended up happening is we had decided upon starting some shows at the Asti Stables. It's a new facility in this area that has decided that they want to run some shows. So we had thought about maybe some schooling shows here or there. And when I was at the United States Hunter Jumper Association annual meeting, Tom O'Mara had come up to me and said, "Hey, we just rewrote the light competition. I'd like you to take a look at it and see, maybe this may work out, maybe something." Once I looked at it, it was a no-brainer. It really was a very good rewrite. I'm not real familiar with the original because I just wasn't running this type of competition at that time. But they did do a wonderful job with it. You don't have to, and not everybody has to be a member of USCF if they don't need Horse of the Year points, if they don't need points on their own, but they can still reap the benefits of the rules, the regulations, and the properness. So when they get to that upper level, they know exactly what's going on. A lot of times at that upper level, you'll see some of the riders and they still don't know exactly the processes of some of the classes and the divisions because they skipped.
So we're stepping up one step over a schooling show.
Correct.
Instead of going, I've done lots of schooling shows and now I'm going to go show at the high level at WEC.
Yes,
That's
correct.
Okay.
It's filling that hole, and especially that hole we have in Ocala. We haven't had this level of horse shows since I moved here in 2000. So it's something that I have not seen happen in Florida at all. It happened in the rest of the country at different areas, but in Florida we always do the large level shows, the big circuits and everything. But the local people that live here too need something as well.
And the thing that I see from some of my students is they want to show at WEC. And the way I look at it is this is the prestige place to show, and great that they get to show here. Don't get me wrong, because there are lower level competitions.
Yes.
However, it's like playing at Carnegie Hall. If I sing at Carnegie Hall, I don't want 100 of my best friends being there. I want the whole place packed, like Billy Joel selling it out.
Yes.
So you're creating something to where they can go to a smaller venue and show their talents.
Exactly. And maybe a rider that's new, or they have a very young horse that hasn't really been in the ring that much. They can do a few more of these practice shows instead of just one or two big WEC shows a year. Maybe they can supplement a little bit more and get more practice.
And what's it like? So obviously, Pete, Joy's talking about Tom O'Mara. We had him on our podcast before and earlier. And it's really nice that he actually lives here in Ocala too with us at the horse capital of the world. But people offer these type of shows for people, you know, seeing that hole there, and then with your ability to be so organized, because I've seen her in action, she's very organized, and being able to offer that, but also be able to communicate with people. Because let's be honest, there's a lot of people in the horse world, and they're in the horse world because they're not really great communicating with people. You know, you're the horse, marriage counselor for horses. So
they're not good at communicating with their horse, let alone people.
so I think that's important. Tell us a little bit more about Diasti and what type of facility that is.
It's a beautiful farm. It's a right now I think there's 110 acres on that property. Large barns all over the property. It was built in the late 80s, and it was primarily a thoroughbred farm at the time. Over the years, the owners have started developing and adding a couple of large rings to the arena, and they're putting the fiber footing in and doing a very good job at that. And right now, they're in the process of purchasing the farm next door, so that's an additional 70 acres to this. So this property will have 200 acres, and their plan is with the farm next door is to actually create that as the show side. So then the people that board on the property have a little bit of privacy on the other side. And then in the middle of it will be the competition rings and, some vendor spaces and cafe, restaurant type of thing.
I've been out there in it, and it looks to me like a Spanish villa. Some guy has all this money. The barns are just huge and immaculate. It's just amazing. It's amazing property.
Wow, I'm looking forward to seeing it.
It's beautiful. It really is, and it's an older property, so it's nice.
But to me, it makes you feel like you're riding in Spain with some of the top people.
Yes.
At their private arena.
There you go. I love it. I'm just curious though. So, what do you wish you knew? Let's go back to when you were riding a little bit, because we're talking about starting. When you first started competing, that you would now share with the riders that you mentor. Like, what would you like them to know that you experienced?
Oh gosh. I mean, I'm one of those riders, and when I was training, the same. I'm that person that always would find the diamond in the rough. I found an animal or created the best I can with that animal for what they are. And sometimes, there's that hard piece where people can't look past a few flaws or look past a little bit of a medical issue or something that needs to be cared for. All these animals need something. They have a job no matter what it is, whether it's the hunter jumper world, whether it's in the Western world, whether it's just trail riding. I mean, there's a whole bunch of different disciplines. And, my hope is to, on the property at Diasti is to offer some light competitions in different disciplines also to be able to allow the horse to be who they are without us forcing them to do more than what they can do.
I like what she said, because I have a vet that has done pre-purchase exams on horses that I've had in training, and his dad was a vet. My dad used to say, if you don't find something on a pre-purchase exam, there's something wrong.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
and you're exactly right. Everybody wants the perfect horse. And he said, my dad used to say, the perfect horse would have to sit in a rubber room and still not hurt himself.
Yes.
For that to happen. So yes, we have injuries, we have things that if you know what you're doing and can be guided like somebody with like Joy, then you can have a horse that's still going to be competitive.
Yes, absolutely.
And be healthy.
Absolutely.
Just might need some time off at the beginning.
Exactly. Or even in between. I have my old horse sitting at home. I felt like every time he went out on lease, he'd come back crippled and he'd need some time to rest, but that's just who he is, and he'd be fine afterwards.
So getting into having these lower level shows, there's also a benefit for judges that aren't at the top level also.
Yes.
In your great scheme of taking a path down the zone.
Exactly. It's kind of a twofold, because since I am a licensed official, and when I was doing that, it was a very difficult piece to establish then. So current day, there's a big need for somewhere for the small R judges to actually gain experience and for them to actually work. It's a strange piece because back in the day, we established the system for the judges to have different levels, but they should be able to officiate at different level horse shows as well. But when those lower level local B and C shows started diminishing, there really wasn't anywhere for the small R judges to actually judge. So current day, most of the people that I speak with that still have a small R license, they're really not officiating that much.
So they're not getting the experience.
Exactly. So for them to move forward to the large R to the next level, they don't get that experience. So then we have that little bit of a hole there with our current judges.
So we learn the rules, but we never really
practice
those rules by seeing it and going, oh, that's why I need to say that, or that's why I need to put, a lower score.
Yes.
I really wish they had this for the NFL referees, since we're going to be talking about the football.
But don't just go to NFL, let's go to college too.
College too. 'Cause I'm telling you, there's some calls out there, ushka bushka.
Well, we're gonna try to utilize as many of the small R licensed officials, period. So that's judges, course designers. We can even use some regional course designers with this license. For the stewards right now, we're able to use stewards that don't even have their licenses yet, but they're actually in an application period. And they don't really necessarily have to be a steward in a 100-jumper world either. So it's just rules.
So this is going to be like the little WEC for everybody to go and warm up with and then go to the big time.
Exactly. So
then be more prepared.
The whole thing is for everybody just to learn as much as they possibly can through this whole process and, from each other.
That's great. This is more than just a ribbon.
Absolutely. I would hope so.
Yeah, me too. And then you have another piece, Joy, that you want to help the people that don't have the money to send their kids to the shows, to the trainers, to the horses. So tell us a lot about that.
Yes, that was my biggest interest on this whole light competition because there are no fees involved with this. There are fees involved with USEF. We all know that. It's been talked about, it's been discussed, there's been a lot of things. But in my opinion, I spent the last year just really working on a project that gave me such visibility of all aspects of a horse show and how expensive it can be from the person that's putting on the horse show to the person that's actually coming and competing. So it's a very, 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 very fine line where everything goes. And I think with this program that USEF is putting out now, and USHJA is supposed to be marrying with another program that matches it on their level as well. So that will help with some of the fees for everybody, so they won't have to pay that to come in, but they'll still have drug testing. They'll still have the safe sport protection. They'll still have a lot of all the other things that you get. But with this, you don't. So that will be a savings for the riders as well. And they'll still gain points. They won't gain the whole points. They'll gain half, but that's okay. They're still not paying all the fees that you would for a regular license competition.
So this will make it more affordable for the backyard kid.
Absolutely.
That, might not be able to make it to the big time. However, with this, they will be able to compete and then get seen by a trainer. And I know this can happen. And then they can get grabbed and say, hey, come work with me. And if you do 2 hours of work, I'll be giving you lessons and put you on horses. And then before you know it, the trainer's helping them out to get to the bigger shows.
Absolutely.
Because they have the talent.
Yes. And they have to. I mean, you can get yourself in a ring. You can get yourself in front of people if you have the funds to do it very easily. But when you don't, when somebody has a lot of talent and they can't get there, it's lost. And so we need to be able to find a way that we can capture the riders' talents when they have the drive to succeed.
And we have such great trainers here in Ocala and in Florida. Let's be honest. It doesn't have to just be here in Ocala. But this gives them an opportunity, and you could talk to them like so eloquently you are now. Might be a chance for them to give back as well as a trainer.
Yes.
And helping a student that might not necessarily have the funds to afford a trainer's salary or what would it cost, but work with someone that's that diamond in the rough, like you were just talking about with your horse.
Hmm.
And then maybe you might find a real jewel right there. You see the play in words right there, Pete?
I saw it. You're so joyful.
Oh, we had to go down that path. I see how
Hey,
it is.
we can play on words all day with me.
All right. You want to add anything else?
I think that's great. I think it's the trifecta. She's getting not only the shows to be lower level so that you can build your way up. She's getting the judges to be able to have that experience, and she's giving the kids that might not be able to afford the shows to get that experience to make it to a higher level. Or, hey, I competed, I learned a lot from just competing.
Hmm.
So I think that's the definitely the trifecta of this whole plan, that Joy's on the path to being in the zone.
And to be in the zone, I was going to say heavy wears a crown. It's such a responsibility to be able to put all this together. That's a big task to do.
It's a large task, but we wrap our arms around many people that care
Yes.
in the same way.
So a question I have for you, Joy, what got you to do these three things? Because I know you told me a story about judging here at WEC, and there was a moment that you were like, "Oh, we need something."
Yeah, I judge at WEC often, and it was a couple of years ago that we had a very, very large show here, and it was incredible. There was a ton of people here, but at the same time, there was just a ton of people in all the classes. I was put in the opportunity ring on a weekend, which is going to be huge, which is great. I love the opportunity ring all day long. It's my happy spot, so they know that I go there willingly. I spent 13 hours in that ring, and a long time sitting in that ring. A lot of those riders were very legitimate and were very comfortable with what they were doing. But I did see a lot of riders that were in that ring, and either the animals were too much for them or they weren't ready to be amongst the everything that was happening here. So that is a worry for myself. When I see riders in a position that maybe they're just not ready for, or a situation because of the atmosphere just being a little bit more that will enhance the animal's personality.
So they didn't have
with
enough
it.
ring time.
Exactly, to be prepared to know.
And still, when you
Exactly.
come to WEC, it's still a lot. I've always wanted to do a clinic on how to prepare your horse at a horse show and be able to go into those big arenas with all the lights and all the
Yes.
noise and just sit there and go, okay, we're going to teach our horses just to calm down here.
Yes.
Because a lot of times the warm up is more about, oh, I got to get the horse to do this and do that. So there's still that still has a job.
Exactly.
But why not start off in going to a place that's more friendly, going to be able to help you with your horse,
and not so excitable for
Yeah.
some of the animals.
There you go.
Because they are animals, so they do try their best, but they are going to react. I mean, we can't numb them to
Yes, ma'am.
to any of that. That's not fair to them either.
And they feel your energy though too.
Yeah.
So if that rider's nervous or is not as skilled, that horse is going to feel that as well. And
Absolutely.
then you got this issue going on. And if they're not doing well, they're not prepared to jump or whatever's going on, then they might pull out of the sport altogether because they just feel like it's not for them. Would you agree?
I would agree. Absolutely. Because if you're nervous to do something to begin with, and you get into a spot and the animal's nervous and everything, and then there's a bad situation. And sometimes if you're not talked through it properly, or if you're not helped with it, your fear will take you away from it completely and never come back. I've talked to a lot of people that's happened through when they were young and maybe came back to it as adults, but being able to learn properly from it.
So at this center, if you're seeing a new rider and an experience, probably just name me and Rob for one. And I'm getting on that horse. I'm a little bit iffy on getting over that jump, What advice would you tell me? How would you calm me down? What would you have me think about?
Oh my gosh, breathe. I mean, breathe. You have to. That's the only thing. I mean, even myself, I get nervous a lot. I mean, current day, I don't ride nearly like I used to ride at all. And if I put my foot in a stirrup, I have to breathe. I have to make myself come back down to earth a little bit so I can get comfortable again.
I've had students I've asked, "Do you swim?" Why? No, why? Why do you ask? I said, well, I've never seen somebody hold their breath as long as you have, because I think that's a record. So, in the zone, what does that mean to you?
Oh, in the zone means everything to me because I am that person, and it's very difficult for me to really focus and not let everything else be in my space. I'm a very I see things a lot. I watch people and everything. So if I'm in a bad situation and I'm trying to get myself together, putting myself in the zone is to focus and to try to keep going with where I'm heading to, no matter what. So it's hard. Not everybody can get in the zone. Sometimes you have to learn how to
So,
get
do
in
you
the
have an
zone.
inner song? What is your strategy when
For
the
yourself.
chaos for yourself?
For myself, I mean, in all seriousness, when I said breathe, I learned a lot of meditation over the years. I really have, and it's helped me, and it's helped me kind of take myself away because you sometimes get around some people that, they're not very kind with their words, or they're not very personable. So then sometimes that'll affect me, and so when you feel yourself being a little nervous, or you feel yourself needing to take a little step back, that's where I just learn my breathing techniques again, and it just takes me back down to that comfort level.
With all your experience, have you seen trainers that will sometimes be very just loud and aggressive with their riders or anything of that nature? Have you
Yes,
seen that?
I've seen that. I've seen that. And it's a hard thing because, sometimes people are riding, and if they're in a dangerous situation, I've done it, and I've done it even just recently. But if someone's in a dangerous situation, you can't keep your calm when you're trying to direct them to be safe again. So a lot of times when, as a trainer, sometimes we'll say something just to try to get the horse to react, the person to stay safe, or what have you. And a lot of times in our tone will get stronger depending on the severity of it. I know mine does. I mean, I can stay quiet pretty long, and if it's a serious situation, oh, you're going to really hear me.
Well, I just had this experience today in a lesson where I didn't yell, I promise. And even the people watching said I didn't yell. But when my tone changed, that's when she goes, "Don't yell at me." And I'm like, "I'm not yelling at you. You're yelling at me." And I was like, "No." So I had to whisper to her to help her get through the situation. And it was a learning moment for me because I'm like, I have never yelled at any of my students unless I'm cheering for them or I'm going, "Get off the horse now." Like,
Exactly.
you need to get off now. But it was interesting that the tone changed, just like Joey said, flip the switch for the student. And it's just like the horse. I always look back at my horsemanship and go, if I get too big, it might be the smallest movement for uh my stick or my body, but to the horse, it's this huge movement. So I have to adjust. So I got to do the same thing with the students.
Yes, yes.
All right. Just a personal question. You do the same thing with Bob, your husband?
Absolutely, I do. Absolutely.
Just check it. Just check it. I think it's time for our fun part right now.
We're going to move over to the lightning round. Now, the lightning round is about a quick thought pattern. So we don't want you to think a lot.
Okay.
This is on the spur of the moment. So this is like you being in the arena. You're coming around to the jump and something goes wrong. You got to think and do right now. Okay?
Okay.
You
I'll do
ready?
my best.
All right, here we go. Breathe now before we ask you the first question. Here we go. Mindset and performance. What instantly puts you in the zone?
It's a tough situation.
Okay. What pulls you out of the zone fastest?
Being able to adapt to that situation.
What's one habit that keeps you grounded?
My best habit is to smile. That is.
How do you reset after a tough day or loss?
Oh, I after a tough day, I reset, and I literally just relax and shut down.
Okay. What's the best lesson pressure ever taught you?
To take things in stride.
Do you trust Preparation or instinct more?
That's a rough one. That has to be an equal for me.
That's fine. That's fine. That's
Great.
good. What does confidence mean to you today?
Confidence means to me today that one knows exactly what they're going after and what they're doing.
What's something you're still working on mastering?
I'm still working on mastering to stay level with everything because
Not cooking?
it's hard. No, I think I can do good at cooking sometimes when I have the time.
Very good. When things go sideways, what's your first move?
Oh gosh, that's a hard one. I stop and I watch and I observe.
Growth zone or comfort zone?
Repeat that.
Growth zone or comfort zone?
Which one do you
I
prefer?
prefer growth zone.
There you go.
I don't like being comfortable.
Morning routine or just get after it?
Oh, morning routine all day long.
She looks like a coffee drinker.
Yeah.
One non-negative in your day.
A
Oh, excuse me. One non-negotiable in your day.
non-negotiable in day is negativity.
Ooh, that's good. Well, now we're going to get the real truth on this next one here. Coffee, tea, or something stronger?
Usually coffee.
Early bird or night owl?
Early bird.
Structure or flexibility?
A huge amount of structure with some flexibility.
What drains your energy the fastest?
What drains my energy is somebody that's not kind or not being nice.
That's good. I like that. Okay. What refuels you the fastest?
Sleep.
Hmm.
Candy bar, charging food. Which one?
Oh, candy bar. I love chocolate.
Order this.
Which candy bar?
All of them.
Oh, it doesn't. She's not picky.
Mine's a Butterfinger, but hey, I haven't had one in a while. Order the same thing every time or live dangerously?
Oh, I live dangerously. I mean, usually the bartender or the waitress or waiter is ordering my food for me.
We had camel meatballs. It was not good.
That is dangerous.
Somebody said, "Does it taste gamey?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, it tastes gamey."
Oh, Rocky Mountain oysters, that's a whole nother
There
story.
you go.
What's harder for you, starting or finishing?
Starting. I
One
always
mis-
finish.
One mistake that shaped you to who you are.
One mistake.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, geez. There's a lot of them.
Don't say marrying your husband.
No. The mistake that shaped me literally was going and taking a first riding lesson with a friend one day.
Ah,
Oh, very good. Biggest setback, devastating that changed your life to the better.
That's a tough one.
That's
a
why we
tough
ended the
one.
lightning round right
Yeah,
there on that
well,
one.
that's a tough one because, I was at a point of my career that I was riding and showing and competing a whole bunch. And physically, I failed. And then on top of that, then my family started failing. So that setback was very difficult during that time, but I wouldn't have it any other way because without those setbacks of that period of time for me, I wouldn't be where I'm at now.
Yay. That's one of the big things that I really emphasize to my students, riders, and in life is your biggest setback today is going to be the best glory in 10 years from now because it sets you on the right path. And
Absolutely.
that's why, to me, you're setting the path to get in the zone for these riders by starting a little lower level, but getting experience.
Absolutely.
so Joy, who had the biggest influence on your mindset with something like that? I mean, who's really mentored you?
I've had a lot of people that's mentored me over the years. And there's one person that just sticks into my mind that has mentored me from the very beginning, and that's Chucky Waters. And
Wow.
he's right here in Ocala.
Wow, that's great. Good job, Chucky. All right. All right, we have to ask this song. If you were to ride out, what would be your ride out song that pumps you up? Do you have a certain song before you ride or work or anything like that? that you
No,
listen in the car or anything of that nature?
Come on, something like
really
Lady Gaga or
don't.
something.
I don't have a certain song. It just depends on my mood because I love music.
Okay.
Music always has to play for
So
me.
give us a song that we would hear you playing while you were riding.
Oh, geez. Yeah, it's probably some AC/DC song.
Yeah.
I'm just
Come
trying,
on.
I mean, I can't even pinpoint which one because those are usually the ones when I'm riding and it gives me some strength and some power is AC/DC. That's my band.
Okay, we got three great questions right here for you, and then we're going to take a breath. Okay. So, what advice would you give your younger self?
My younger self is to not take things so literally.
What advice would you give to someone that's just starting out?
Is be present and ask a lot of questions.
Perfect. What excites you the most about the future?
Oh, the sky's the limit. I mean, I anything is obtainable. And at this point of life, I've learned that. Maybe 25, 30 years ago, I didn't know that, but at this point of life,
So
you can attain anything.
one of the questions I just came up with that I think is a good wrap-up question. In 5 years from now, where do you see the program you just developed?
My vision for the program at D'Asti Farms is a lot of happy families and a lot of people just very eager to learn about what it takes to get here to WEC and compete here successfully.
Perfect. So, I think it's important for everyone to be able to find you and be able to reach out to you. How can someone do that if they have questions or want to join you in the,
Or to help you? I'm sure you guys need the money part of it.
Absolutely. I mean, any help is necessary when you're putting on something like this. I mean, right now this farm's brand new, so nothing they've had. I mean, there's some events that have happened on that property, but a large amount of them that the owners are having to purchase everything in preparation for all this. So it's a lot. Volunteers are always welcome as we're coming into this because I love teaching anybody that wants to learn. So we are game for that. I can always be reached on Facebook. I have a page there somewhere. I'm not the best on social media, but I'm getting better. And of course, you can feel free to email me or give me a phone call as well.
Great. So,
Yeah.
on this podcast, we'll leave your email address.
Okay,
And so that way they can reach out to you that way. How does that sound?
that'd be wonderful.
Okay, awesome. But the last question, because I'm always not done, is there anything we didn't ask you that you feel is important for the writers to hear today?
I think the most important thing for every rider is to just go after your own goal. Don't go after a goal that somebody else is trying to set you up for. Ride for what you feel comfortable for and own it.
Joy, I had fun. Pete, did you have fun today?
Oh, I had a blast.
Yeah?
It was joyful.
It was, oh boy. We have to end it there, everybody. I hope you had a great time. And please give us your feedback on what you liked about this. Okay, have a great day.
That's a wrap on another powerful episode of In the Zone with Ian Robb and Dancin Pete Rodda. Whether you ride, compete, or simply love your animals like family. Today's episode was a reminder that true teamwork starts with connection and that health is the ultimate performance edge. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave us a review. And catch us next time as we dive deeper into the mind, body, and bold journeys of top performers. Until then, stay focused, stay inspired, and keep riding in the zone.